Hello, this is Chris here from the CompulsiveCanadianGamer.com. Today we're here for an unboxing of the Project Scorpio edition of the Xbox One X. This just came out a couple of days ago. It is a rather massive upgrade to the Xbox One and even the Xbox, not as big a jump from the Xbox One S, but performance-wise it is a huge step up from the two of them. According to Microsoft, it's the most powerful console ever. Which is true, but you know that can be said about every single new console that comes out. Of course, we're not releasing, Sony and Microsoft aren't releasing, the wimpiest console ever. That's Nintendo's job. So it's an awfully bold claim by them. When they first came out with the news at E3, I guess it would have been 2015. I think it was 2015 or 2016. 2016, last year. That they're coming out with this console is going to beat the snot out of all the competition and everything like that. So it was really kind of a surprise when Microsoft released the specs for this, because when they announced this last year, Sony came out and said, hey, we're doing a PlayStation Pro, by the way, it's coming out this year, which was fall 2016. And it was a big step up from the PlayStation 4. Not huge, but it allowed allowed them to do 4K, allowed them to do HDR. Kind of beat Microsoft to the punch again. But they still claimed like, hey guys, we're coming out with a Scorpio, and it's gonna it's gonna beat everything else out there on the market. And truth be told, on paper, yes, it does. There's no disputing that. But everybody was kind of expecting something more powerful. Compared to the Xbox One, this thing's a beast. It's like going from a Celeron chip to an i7. They've got they've packed way more RAM in it, video processing, the whole nine yards. But when you compare this to the Pro, it's very minimal. Yes, it still has more RAM than the Pro. It also few extra gigahertz of processing power, and by that I mean I believe it's like going from a 2.1 to a 2.3 processor chip. So yes, it is faster, but truth be told, Sony's kind of winning this generation in terms of sales. They're kicking the snot out of Microsoft. So where are the games going to go? Probably on the console that has 65 million consoles sold. So I know what Microsoft's doing. I know that they're moving in the right direction, but number one, it seems a little bit too little too late, and two, I don't know, Microsoft released the One S last year, and then, it seemed like it was almost just wanting to get something to market so people didn't forget about Xbox. And that's kind of how it felt. It allowed you to do 4K movies and, some 4K games in HDR, but it didn't improve the RAM, didn't improve processing power, anything like that. So, yes, you could have these games, but, they didn't play much better. It was a 4K console, but it wasn't, you weren't natively rendering in 4K, you weren't, getting all those benefits. So I don't know, like I say, it kind of feels like last year was a bit of an empty gesture. This is the console that we should have got last year, but I don't think Microsoft was ready to have it out yet, unfortunately. So anyways, let's crack this open and see what we got. As always, Microsoft is kind of showy when it comes to their console packing. Power cable, they have nice little individual boxes and stuff like that. It feels a lot more consumer product than other stuff. You got your HDMI cable, you got your controller. With a free set of AA batteries. The controller does have, I'll show this after, but across here it does say Project Scorpio on it. It is kind of weird because it is like, it is vertical, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you think you'd kind of put that across somewhere, but whatever. Somebody in the marketing department obviously thought this was a good idea. And then we've got the console itself. Oops. Oh, you actually have sort of this has getting started instructions, Xbox apps, Xbox Live Gold. Kind of curious. Play together with Gold, join the community. There's a code here. You get 14 days free on the console. Your Game Pass, over 100 games. Redeem the code below for 1 month free. Oh, this is your sort of subscription-based service, your Microsoft Game Pass. Also, and I'll just sort of point this out, I actually just I heard about this a few years ago when I was looking at the site today. Microsoft allows you to make custom controllers, which is just absolutely phenomenal. And I wish Sony or Nintendo would do this. They've got this Xbox Design Lab. So if you go to xbox.com/Xbox Design Lab, you can pick like literally millions of combinations for your controller. You can have it, laser etched with your gamer tag and stuff like that. It is a real, I don't know, it's just a real neat way of doing things. Kind of a cool Christmas idea for gamers, if you know any that you want to get a controller for or something like that. You can make them a custom controller, which is, kind of what we all want. Alright, so another box in here. What on earth could this be? Oh, I guess there's a vertical stand for this thing if you want to stand her up. Never been a fan of vertical stands. I feel the same way about PCs. I'm an IT guy by trade, and computers usually have airflow, in mind for having their console in a certain configuration. So when you stand it up, you may not be getting, the best airflow out of it. Sometimes you block vents and stuff like that. So it may seem like a good idea, but I oft err on the side of, let's just put it down like it was meant to be. Alright, fancy black tissue paper. Alright, so a little warning here on the front, do not move this console without first removing the disc. So a sticker right here on the front. And so this guy, this is your Scorpio edition. How can you tell? Well, it has a little tiny piece of green writing here that says Project Scorpio on it. That is it. So for those of us that pre-ordered ahead of time, it's kind of nice. Project Scorpio was the code name for this box when they announced it last year. So I don't know. I don't personally. I don't really care that it says that on there. I think they could have done a lot of things differently. They probably could have, like I've seen, they made an amazing Minecraft edition, which looks so freaking cool. I'm not a Minecraft guy, but I have to say that console, it made me want to buy it just for the Minecraft edition. It's all pixelated and stuff down the side. It's just a gorgeous looking console. So I would have rather seen Microsoft, they could have done something right up here, they could have etched it and had, Project Scorpio, picture of Scorpion, something, they had a lot of options. They chose to just kind of give you, a 0.2 font in green that says Project Scorpio. So, kind of a bummer. Connections on the back here, you got HDMI in, HDMI out, you get 2 USB ports, infrared in, your SPDIF out for sound, as well as network and power. Not a lot to it. Infrared port on the front, as well as a USB connection on the front. Disc mounts in here now, which is kind of nice, a little bit under the bezel. This system itself is a little bit smaller than the 1S, but it actually weighs about 2 pounds more than the 1S. So yeah, other than that, performance under the hood, it is a significant improvement. So you can check out their specs online. So it is a huge jump. It does play games in native 4K. Just be warned if you have, internet plans that limit your bandwidth and stuff like that. Some of the patches, from what I understand, are an absolute beast. I believe I read once, what was it, Quantum, I can't remember what it is, Quantum Break, is fully installed with the 4K textures and all that. It's like 176 gigs on your hard drive, on your 1 terabyte hard drive. So unfortunately that it's going to start chewing up a lot of space, especially for the older games. Newer stuff I imagine is going to be on the disk and whatnot, but the downloads I understand are like 20-30 gigs for some of these games. Gears of War 4 and stuff like that. It's pretty huge, the patches for Forza. So on a positive note, if you haven't picked one of these up yet, and you do have an Xbox One or 1S, whatever, you can actually preload all of the HD patches or the 4K patches and stuff. So you can go to the games on the Xbox Live Store, Game Store, and you can actually like download those things now. So once you get this, you can do just a quick port. So if they're on an external drive, you can just shove them over. If you hook up via the network and both systems are hooked up on the network, you can just do a full sync to it. You don't have to worry about, you know, re-downloading or anything like that. Also save you time if you're not getting this day one, if you're getting it down the road, and you know you're going to get it down the road, you know, start downloading the patches now. Just save yourself some time, you know, the first day that you have it, you can actually jump into some of these games in 4K. Alright, check us out on the compulsivecanadiangamer.com. I'll be doing a review on this guy within, I don't know, next week or so. To be fair, I don't play a whole hell of a lot of Xbox. I might now, now that they're actually, you know, a little bit more, I always go where the power is. And Sony has, you know, this generation, they've definitely had the better console in terms of power, in terms of RAM, whatnot, better visuals, smoother gameplay. This could be a game changer for me. So I may actually, some titles that I would, you know, multi-plat titles that I would typically pick up on PlayStation, I may consider picking up on Xbox now, just because they're going to look better and play better. Not that I can't do it on the PC, but it's just, I don't know, I'm a console gamer at heart. I grew up on the PC and stuff like that, but, you know, for easy use, you're not beating one of these guys. Alright, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and yeah, check us out, thecompulsivecanadiangamer.com, or on Facebook under the same moniker. Send us a like. If you got any comments, let us know. Same on this video, you can comment on YouTube. Alright, thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace out.